Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Listen and Learn. I'm Sarah, and today I have a very special episode for you. This episode is about one day in the past. I will tell you what I did from the morning until the night. I will use slow English, easy sentences, and the past tense. Okay, this story is for beginning level learners. So relax, listen carefully, and imagine the day with me. You can pause the video and repeat the sentences after me. One day in the past can change everything we are today. Imagine a morning when the sun was shining softly, the birds were singing, and the air felt fresh. You woke up and looked at the world with new eyes. That one day was not ordinary. It was a day that would stay in your memory forever. Perhaps it was a day when you met someone special, or a day when you made an important decision that changed the course of your life. Sometimes we do not realize the value of that day until years later, when we look back and see how everything started from that single moment. That day might have been filled with joy, excitement, fear, or even pain. But no matter how it felt back then, today it holds meaning because it shaped who you are. Life is like a book, and that day was one of the most powerful chapters of your story. If you close your eyes right now, you can still picture what happened. The faces, the sounds, the smells. It is almost as if you can travel back in time and live it all over again. That is the power of memory. And that is why one day in the past can be so important. It reminds you that every single day you live now has the same power to shape your future. Think about that one day again. What were you doing when it all began? Maybe you were a child, playing outside, or sitting quietly in a classroom when the teacher said something that stayed in your mind forever. Maybe you were walking down the street and saw something that made you stop and think deeply. Life has a strange way of showing us signs, and sometimes we only understand those signs later. That day was like a seed planted inside your heart. You may not have felt it growing right away, but over time, that seed became a tree of memories, lessons, and emotions. Think about how many small things happened that day. Maybe the weather was different. Maybe you wore your favorite clothes. Maybe someone smiled at you when you needed it the most. All these little details became a part of the bigger picture. That one day might have taught you a lesson about love, friendship, courage, or patience. Sometimes it is pain that teaches us the most important lessons. If that day brought pain, you might have cried. You might have felt alone. But now when you look back, you see that it made you stronger. That day gave you the strength to fight, to grow, and to become wiser. It shaped your personality. You are who you are today because of that day. It is as if the universe chose that day to push you forward, to open a door that had been closed for a long time. That is why we must respect the past, because every moment in the past is a teacher that is helping us become the best version of ourselves. As the day continued, you probably did not realize that you were living through one of the most important experiences of your life. You might have laughed that day, or maybe you were nervous about something. Perhaps someone spoke words that changed your heart forever. Every sound, every smile, every tear that day was like a piece of a puzzle coming together. When you think about that day now, you see the whole puzzle complete. But back then, it was just one moment after another, like beads on a string. Each moment was connected, each one leading to the next. If even one of those moments had been different, your life today might not look the same. That is why life is so beautiful and mysterious. We don't always see the big picture while we're living it. We just live one moment at a time. But when we look back, we realize how perfect it all was, even with the mistakes, even with the pain. That day was preparing you for the future. It was shaping your character, building your resilience, and showing you what you're capable of. You might not have liked what happened that day, but without it, you would not have learned what you know now. Life teaches us through experience, and that one day was a lesson written especially for you. It was like a gift wrapped in time, waiting for you to open it when you are ready. And today, when you remember it, you can finally see what that gift was. It might have been a lesson about forgiveness, about never giving up, or about trusting yourself, even when no one else does. That is the beauty of the past. It is never wasted if you are willing to learn from it. When you think about that day more deeply, you begin to see not only what happened, but also how it shaped your thoughts. Maybe it was the first time you felt truly responsible for something. Maybe it was the day that you realized that you were stronger than you thought. There are moments in life that open our eyes, and that day might have been one of them. It could have been a day when you faced a challenge that seemed too big, but somehow you managed to overcome it. That gave you confidence. Or maybe it was a day when you failed at something, but that failure taught you not to give up. The pain of that failure might have burned in your heart, but later it became your biggest source of motivation. Every time you think about giving up now, you remember that day and say, "No, I've been through worse, and I survived." That is the power of a single day. It becomes a reminder, a teacher, a guide for the future. And what is more beautiful is that it also becomes a story you can share with others. One day in the past can inspire not just you, but everyone who hears about it. Imagine telling your story to someone who is feeling lost or hopeless. Your story might be the light that shows them the way. That is why we must never forget the days that shaped us. They are like treasures buried in the past. Every time you dig them up, you find wisdom, strength, and courage waiting for you. Life is not about running away from the past. It's about learning to use it to build a better future. Think about how that one day started like any other day, but by the time it ended, something inside you had changed. Maybe your dreams became clearer. Maybe your goals became stronger. Sometimes we need a single day to wake us up from our ordinary life and remind us of what truly matters. That day might have made you realize the importance of family, friendship, or time. Maybe it taught you to value people before it is too late. Or maybe it taught you to value yourself, to stop pleasing everyone else and start listening to your own heart. That is the beauty of life. Sometimes one day can teach you more than 100 books. It gives you real experience, real feelings, and real lessons. That day could have been the turning point where you stopped living in fear and started living with courage. It could have been the day you stopped doubting yourself and started believing that you are capable of great things. Every time you think of that day, you can feel the same emotions you felt back then, but now you are wiser. You can see how necessary that day was. Without it, you might still be lost, still unsure about where to go. Life uses days like that to guide us, to bring us back to the right path. We do not always understand it at first, but later we see that it was a gift. A painful gift maybe, or a joyful one, but still a gift. And gifts are meant to be appreciated, remembered, and shared. So hold on to that day. Tell its story. Live in a way that honors the lesson it gave you. As time passed, the meaning of that day became clearer and clearer. At first, you may have tried to forget it or push it aside, but life has a way of bringing important memories back to you when you are ready to understand them. Maybe you were too young back then to see its importance. Maybe you were too hurt to accept what it was trying to teach you. But now, with experience and wisdom, you see how necessary it was. That day may have saved you from making bigger mistakes later. It might have redirected your path in a way that protected you from something worse. Or it might have given you the courage to take a risk that changed your life for the better. Sometimes we think we are unlucky when something bad happens, but later we realized it was actually a blessing in disguise. That single day might have been your hidden blessing. Every challenge you faced that day became a lesson that helped you deal with even bigger challenges in the future. It was as if life was training you, preparing you step by step for what was to come. And today, you are stronger because of it. You have more empathy because of it. You can guide others better because of it. That day became a silent teacher that continues to speak to you every time you need advice. Even now, when you face a difficult situation, you remember that day and say, if I could handle that, I can handle this too. That is the gift that keeps on giving, a memory that continues to inspire you and push you forward even years later. Another beautiful thing about that day is how it connects you to others. We all have a one day in the past that changed us. When you share your story, you allow others to remember their own special day. Your memory becomes a bridge between you and them. Sometimes we think we are alone in our struggles, but when we share, we realize that many people have gone through similar moments. They may have cried, laughed, struggled, and learned just like you. By talking about that day, you give them hope that they too can overcome what they are facing right now. Your story becomes a source of encouragement. Maybe your day was about losing something and learning to move on. Maybe it was about finding something you didn't know you needed. Whatever it was, it carries a lesson not just for you, but for everyone. When others hear it, they take courage. They feel less alone and they start to believe that their pain has meaning too. This is how one day in the past can change not just your life, but many lives. It becomes a chain reaction of inspiration. Your courage inspires someone else, and then they inspire another person, and soon the effect spreads like light in the darkness. That is why you should never keep that day hidden inside your heart. Speak about it, write about it, turn it into a story that others can hear. You never know whose life might change because of the words you share. That day was given to you for a reason. Maybe so you could pass on its lesson to someone who desperately needs it. Thank you for watching. If you loved this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to Listen and Learn, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a lesson. Share this video with your friends and help them improve their English too.